Hey Pisces, it's Romy here. Welcome to my channel. Thanks so much for tuning in for your September reading. If you have Pisces sun, rising or moon, it may well resonate. If you're enjoying my work, please do drop me a like and a comment and let me know your feedback. And if you haven't already subscribed, I would love you to do so to support my work. So my soul stories are a blend of tarot energies, working with my guides and tuning into the astrological influences for this month ahead. So let's dive right in and see what's coming up for you, yeah? Okay, Pisces, it's Virgo season, which is activating your 7th house of relationships. A lot of mirroring going to be taking place this month for you, so you'll be getting some interesting signposts from the universe to really show you how far you've come, but also where there is opportunities for real healing and growth. Now, the infusion of energies are quite magical this month because we also have this waking up of both Jupiter and Saturn, and the movement forward is really helping to release what may have felt stuck, held back, or in some way something that has been a sense of burden to you. And so as these planets start to move direct, and we also welcome in some really sweet trines through the month, then there's this sense of recognition and reward for all of the hard work that you've put in. So all of this hasn't been in vain, Pisces. In September, as we also invite in equinox, which will be coming in on the 22nd of the month, there is a rebalancing that's set to take place, and you're going to feel that on quite a deep level. So there may be a tiredness, there may be a overwhelm as we enter into the beginning of the month, but as we start to move through September, you are going to see where things are opening up for you, and perhaps give yourself permission to start to place down some of the things that feel heavy. And certainly there's going to be an adjustment period that I think is going to have to happen, where you're looking at where you now need to reprioritize things. It's going to help you to catch your breath. I'm almost seeing September as this still point before we move into the next wave of eclipse energies, and quite an intense period between now and the end of the year. And the hanging man coming in, just almost asking that you do let go, that you do release yourself from something or someone. I mean, with the focus on your 7th house, it may be that for some of you what's transpiring through this month of September is going to be really setting the tone for what happens next in the relationships in your life. And it's almost like a bit of a clear up month as well. So I think what you're going to be able to do is have some of the difficult conversations. You're going to be able to speak from a place of true heart. You are going to come from a place of real wisdom and discernment based on everything that you've been through. And you know, Mars also moves retrograde on the 9th of the month, and it's in your 2nd house of value, Pisces. So there is this recognition and now a need to integrate where you have learned about the areas of your life that perhaps you haven't stood up for yourself or demonstrated that real sense of value that you have, what you have to offer, whether it is in a relationship or in your place of work or even to yourself. And so there's this kind of pushing of the energy to really help you to step up and express that and make the changes that you need to. So I think through this month, that really nice blend of like emotional energy that comes from that full moon in your sign on the 2nd, but also all of the really positive earth aspects are just going to help you to put the right plans in place, speak your truth, make sure that you're aligned with the things that you do feel passionate about, and then, you know, make the sacrifice that is required in order to bring about those adjustments, you know. And what we're seeing with Venus moving into the sign of Leo on the 6th of the month, and then we also have Mercury in Libra on the 5th, but there's this requirement with Venus and Leo in your 6th house, right, for you to make sure that the rituals, the day-to-day way that you are showing up, how you're taking care of things, and the processes that you have in place are actually really supporting and sustaining you. And actually, I kind of get the vibe that through this month of September, you're going to be setting some time aside to look at the automation of things. You know, how can you get slicker? How can you find a quicker, faster way? It's like work smarter, not harder, you know, and that's really the Queen of Pentacles coming in to remind you that there's a far simpler way to reach the same goal here that's going to have a lot less impact or energy drain on you, but you might need some time just to reflect and figure out what that looks like. So give yourself a chance to do that. And you know, Mars retrograde allows us to sort of have that kind of quiet restorative time, and we need to rest, you know, just to let the dust settle with things or see where the energy is moving and flowing so that we can make sure that we're focused in that particular direction. You know, for those of you in relationships, what it might do is give that sense of time out or time to reflect. And the moon coming through, of course, linking into your sign, and I think just really delivering that potency of what you've been through. You know, it's really been a rite of passage. It's been this pilgrimage, if you like, to your soulful sovereignty and reclaiming something in yourself. And I think that full moon is about you then demonstrating, articulating, expressing that out to the people in your life, and how you choose to do that. It's going to say everything. It's going to say everything to how you now perceive yourself, okay? Because I think one of the things that you're recognizing is what your medicine is. That's what this last 6 months have shown you since we were in your season, Pisces. You know, everything that you've been through, you know, in the external and the collective and society, but also on a deeply personal level through your own soul journey. You know, the hanging man is taken you deep within yourself and forced you to really acknowledge different things. It's brought about this really deep sense of spiritual revolution. And, you know, you've done the work. That Queen of Pentacles shows me that you've done the work. You should be proud. There's a moment that you need to celebrate about the way that you've handled and approached things. And this is the month where you start to see the gain and the real reward of how that's going to impact. So let this infusion of all these magical elements come together and demonstrate to you what comes next, okay? And try to come at that without any sense of preconceived ideas, okay? 3 of Wands coming in the center of your reading, which I love. Again, just showing me that you're really stepping up. You're owning your energy this month, and you just, I think for many of you, you're realizing that you want more for yourself. And that might be playing out, you know, because we're in that 7th house in Virgo season, in your relationships. You might now be ready to say, you know what, the way things have been is no longer working for me. This is how I want to now approach it, or this is what my ideas are, this is what I would like to see from this relationship, this is what I'm prepared to put in. What I like is, I think with Mercury and Libra in your 8th, it's very much about you being able to express yourself, but from a deeply emotional place that is going to create that level of intimacy, you know, and that's what you need. Because if you're going to speak your truth and you're going to really ask for the things that you want or ask for the things that you need, you have to be able to say it without like, you know, just with feeling safe, with feeling like you're going to be heard, you're going to be listened to, the connection that you want to express that is ready to receive it. So yes, you might not have all of the solutions this month, but I certainly see that you are getting really clear about your needs and wants, and that your soul is kind of really calling you and pulling you forward in a certain direction now. And you just don't want to really go back. You don't want to go back to those times that felt so arduous, and that they were like some kind of like endurance race that just had become no longer fun. You know, this is a recognition of like, you know, life is supposed to feel light and energized and full of joy. And of course there is a lot of heavy things that are going on in the world right now, but that doesn't mean in your own individual experience you can't receive that level of joy that is absolutely available to you and is your entitlement and you're absolutely deserving of. So I'm also seeing from a work perspective that there are a lot of exciting new opportunities coming in on the horizon, and you may well be starting to receive snippets of that. There could be conversations, connections that are starting to show up. Like we said, as Jupiter moves direct on the 13th, the planet of expansion, of good luck, of good fortune, of abundance. And remember, it's in your 11th house, so it's all about technology, the way that you connect, your friendship, the way that you're linking in with communities and groups and society. So there is this quality of all of a sudden there being a rush of things that seem like they're coming together really quickly, and perhaps you've just been waiting for some time. So there may even be, and just be prepared for this, a little bit of uncertainty, or maybe not fully trusting what it is that you're seeing or starting to pick up on. And if that is the case, understand that there is this really beautiful healing energy that is moving all the way through this month of September for you, Pisces, and that earth medicine that's coming is wanting you to make peace. It's wanting you to find acceptance. It's wanting you to find forgiveness, even if that's just with yourself, so that you can move forward and move on. Now, if you have been experiencing some real challenges in and around either a work situation, or perhaps this is with a key relationship, perhaps an earth sign, or certainly someone that's perhaps come across and kept their feelings a little bit too close to their chest, or been a little bit emotionally avoidant, or even turned their back on you, or if you felt like something has felt really stuck or heavy, or even if there's been some uncertainty, deception that's come up, there's clarity and there's a sense of just real cathartic conversations that I think are going to take place. Now, for some of you, if you are unable to have that closure, that conversation, if it's needed, I think that's going to be the permission that you give yourself to be able to move on. For others, I think it's affording you the chance, like we said, to clear something up and then make a decision as to how you move forward from it. Okay, and there is a path there if you want it, but it does require that you are able to almost draw a line and move beyond. You have changed, which means so is the other person, and now you have to come at things from a perspective of like, if I've changed, how am I looking at this without the baggage, or without all of the kind of entanglement of everything that's gone before? Because that's really going to demonstrate to you a level of like that conscious awakening, and who you want to be moving forward, so that you can figure out what your medicine is. And that's really important, because the emotional tools that you've gained, the strength from that endurance journey that you've been on, has helped equip you to be able to navigate not only what happens this month, but what's going to be coming in next for you. And rest assured, 2020 is going to keep delivering these intense moments. So we've got Knight of Wands, and you can see this volcano erupting in the background. So all around you, there's going to be a continuation of this angry, volatile, frustrated, breaking down, tearing down of structures, people being exposed. There's all sorts of challenging, difficult shadow energy that has to come up to be healed and released. And so that's going to be playing out on the central stage. But for many of us, it's also happening within us in different ways, depending on our own unique soul contract. So you're on this kind of quest right now to really come to terms with how you process these emotions. And because we're in mirror season for you, Pisces, it may well be that the conversations or the way things are playing out with those important people in your life are showing you, like we said, how far you've come, but also where there's still a little bit of work to do, okay? And it might not be in your direct romantic relationship. For some of you, this is going to play out perhaps with your best friend, or a close family member, or somebody that you're working with. So just look toward those relationships that feel like what's happening is shifting and changing, and really asking of you to respond in a different way, in a new way. Now, the Knight of Wands does bring a tremendous amount of passion and charge, and the desire, I think, to want to move forward and get going. And like we said, if you have been experiencing some setback and delay, you're going to be more than ready for that energy to come through. And as we said, with Jupiter and Saturn waking up, even though Mars goes retrograde, they're going to kind of balance themselves out. And overall, I just feel like you are going to see some really meaningful progress, and actually start to welcome in and feel, I think you're going to feel like, okay, it was worth it. There's a validation quality that I think is coming up for you this month, Pisces. It's going to remind you of why you started something in the first place, or what you saw in someone in the first instance. And that, I think, is going to be really, really healing and grounding for you. It's also just going to help you to start to see the real and tangible ways that you can start to make your dreams into a reality. So it's almost like the practical plan that you are bringing to bear to make something really launch or set it in motion. Now, Mars doesn't want us to force anything, okay? So you may have this sort of slight conflict between wanting to get going and pushing something or someone, but at the same time, spiritually, or your soul is kind of inviting you to just hold back and just like wait for a time. Perhaps because there's more information that needs to be revealed or come to light. There's something about the clarification will be important because it might orientate you in a slightly different direction, Pisces. So just be aware of that. But that new moon that we welcome in the sign of Virgo on the 17th of the month also has the sun trining with Saturn. So there's a tremendous source of achievement and again, something to celebrate and success coming through. So if you are doing anything in and around work or business, that's going to be a really favourable time to start to see things come to fruition or to present yourself out. Just pay attention to how Mars is impacting you, and if it's got you on kind of a go slow or it feels like it's impacting your mojo or your motivation or your focus, just try and make sure you're not over delivering or like over committing yourself is probably what I want to say. To anyone or anything, just giving yourself a little bit of breathing space so that if you do see some fluctuations in your energy levels, it's not going to cause you too much of an issue, okay? So it's not the month to necessarily take on more than you know you're capable of, and it probably is a good month to be able to really assert yourself with some boundaries and say no to those people that continuously ask more and more and more of you, okay? That requires a new level of discipline, I think, that you're going to be ready to show and kind of articulate to people, and that might surprise them and even frustrate or kind of really trigger someone so that they could kind of bite back or give you some sort of charged emotional response, okay? And you need to be prepared that through this month there's even a little bit of emotional manipulation going on, so that might be showing up in relationships too as well, Pisces, as we work through your 7th house. So again, just be aware of that. You know, lots of crocodile tears may come forth, or people just trying to get you to see their perspective. But for others, you know, there are going to be some deep and meaningful heart-led conversations. So it really depends on your unique set of circumstances. But what's important is that you just come to the table with a real kind of rooted, grounded energy, deploying that deep wisdom so that you are making sure that everything that you know to be true about who you now are and what you value and what you want to bring to this situation is being presented in a way that you want it to. Don't default, don't go back into old energy. Now, King of Pentacles here, I really love for you. The investment, the planning, the foresight that this energy is available to harness is going to be incredibly positive for those of you that are trying to make positive steps forward in and around your career, your levels of security and abundance. And again, I just think that if there has been some times of uncertainty with the emergence of both the King and Queen of Pentacles in this earthy Virgo season for you, Pisces, rest assured that there's a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel. But what they're demanding of you is also to be open and honest with yourself. You know, this is the time to look at your resources, how you're managing things, and just to make better decisions. And that's healing in and of itself, because it's absolutely reflecting around your sense of value. And, you know, that's where this Mars and Aries transit's really impacting on you. And, you know, if we look at the Knight of Wands as that fire energy, but then the King coming in with that sort of steady hand to just temper a little bit of that impulsiveness, you know. So maybe there's going to be some instances through this month where you're really tempted to overspend, to overstretch yourself, to over promise something, or to say too much in a certain situation when you're meant to just hold back a little bit. So I think he's going to come in as a bit of a gatekeeper energy to help you in that instance as well. Now, for some of you, it may well be fire and earth signs that you're dealing with in terms of relationships. If that is the case, I feel a little bit more of an open honesty from you is going to ensure that you have that reciprocal kind of a conversation coming back. So lead by example, be the one that demonstrates the type of relationship that you're looking for, you know. And then expect the best of people. I mean, I see a level of maturity showing up with the King of Pentacles here. And in some instances, if we're looking at the same person, perhaps in the past, if they have been a little bit almost kind of non-committal and a little bit inconsistent, I'm seeing them stepping forward in a way that you're going to look a little bit more favourably upon, you know, and vice versa. If you've had somebody who I feel has perhaps been a little bit closed off emotionally, there's a little bit more heart and passion that is showing up. Just be prepared though, you know, this volcano in the background does suggest there's some simmering tension, or there's some simmering even resentment perhaps, and that could be on your side or theirs, and so at some point that's going to come to the surface. The moon does suggest that there's something that's been hidden or not shown quite yet, so there will be a time when that's supposed to come in, and perhaps a little bit unexpectedly, because your back may be turned when that is making its way towards you. And you know, there could be some slight upset or discomfort that you need to navigate your way around when that emerges, Pisces. But overall, I just feel like quite a cool, calm energy coming from you, that's going to enable you to just catch your breath, you know, and make sure that you're understanding how you can start to enrich your experiences by everything that you've learned. Now, your Five of Cups, if I'm honest, I just think is the, it's almost like the continuation of this burden that you've been carrying with you. And for some, it may be something that's been with you a lifetime, you know, or certainly powerfully activated through this year of 2020. So the loss, the grief, the disappointment, the challenge, the setback, the sense of feeling like you're getting somewhere, for it to then just kind of bring you right back to kind of the beginning again. But there's something so important about what you're reflecting on as you move through September in relation to this, okay? And the level of healing and understanding that's being revealed and unearthed for you, I think is going to be a real game changer. It's almost like you're able to remove some of these swords that have been lodged deeply into that heart space, and in doing so there's almost like this flood of energy that's going to help you to move forward, because I've almost got this intuitive feeling of like everything's been backed up on an emotional level somewhere. It's like somewhere in your physical body you're like holding on to something still. And it doesn't mean to say that, you know, if there are memories attached to this that are really beautiful, i.e., you know, you've maybe lost a person or lost something that was very meaningful. This is not about clearing everything out and forgetting. It's just about making peace so that you can continue to move forward in your own unique path and still enjoy and invite in all of the vibrancy, the beauty, the abundance, the love, and the opportunities that are kind of waiting for you, you know. And that Three of Wands wants you to look into your future. You know, it's asking you to see more for yourself and to start to look beyond some of the things that have felt really heavy in the past for you. So there's a deeply kind of healing journey that I think you're going to be taking through this month of September. And like we said, that equinox energy when we come into Libra season, and that is moving you into your 8th house, so there's deep transformational energy that's going to be taking place for you then at that point anyway, but we're seeing something shifting on quite a deep level for you, okay? Now, if you are experiencing on a relationship level some disappointment or you know, just that feeling of somebody just not being able to deliver what it is that you're looking for as you assert your new wants and needs, understand that what the universe wants to do in September is to clear things up. Now, clearing things up means that all the truth has to come to light, okay? Everything's got to come to the surface because it's all going to be transmuted. And if that means that we have to clear space and we have to move relationships out of your life because they're no longer serving you, they're no longer supporting your growth, then you need to allow that energy to be in motion, because you haven't seen what's on the other side of it yet. okay? And what I'm looking at down the line for you is something that's representing the harmony and the wholeness and the fulfillment of what it is that you're seeking. So understand that if there are some tricky things to navigate that are requiring you to release and let go on a level that feels a little uncomfortable, it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it, okay? Because the levels of security that I see coming in for you, both on an emotional level but also on a more practical level are shining through really powerfully, okay? So let's take a look and see how these oracle cards are reflecting your reading. Beyond the ordinary. And I think this is really just a further confirmation of what we are discussing, because if you look with your physical eyes at what is surrounding you right now, for some of you, you may still be presented with relationships, with situations, with finances, with, you know, particular environments that are not serving you and not suiting you, and it feels almost impossible to contemplate the infinite solutions and possibilities that are going to be available to you. You know, this is about you finding a way to step into an extraordinary vision of what your life could be, but actually already is, because there's the recognition that that reality is already enacted. You know, every desire that you've set off has already been agreed, and it's now just a case of like, how can we move you towards that in a state of sacred flow where you allow it more easily and you don't hold yourself back in the energies of things that are in the past, and not really allowing you that expansion on a deeper level, okay? So the eyes are closed here. It's definitely something about that internal reflection that's required. It's a key that needs to be unlocked, but there's so much energy that's sort of bursting out from all areas of this figure. And it almost looks like feathers as well to me, surrounded. So there's deep angelic protection that's coming in for you right throughout this month as well, as you come to terms with things, but also as you start to receive in the rewards and the gain that have been held up for you. So your crystal card is Spirit Quartz. I love this for you. Of all the signs, you are so deeply connected to the spiritual realm. Your levels of intuitive knowing being activated powerfully while that full moon is in your sign of Pisces, but all the way through this month really. And the Spirit Quartz is bringing in a lightness, helping you to connect powerfully into the divine, into the angelic realm, opening up. And even for those Pisces who have already been on a profound journey of awakening, realize that even between now and the end of the year, there's a continuation of that trajectory. So more and more you're starting to tune into the energies at a deeper level, being more aware of the agendas of those around you, being more aware of your own thought forms and how you want to show up, and working with any kind of tools, whether it be crystals, whether it be through meditation, whether it be through, you know, whatever your spiritual practice is. It's going to really advance you far quicker than you've ever experienced before between now and the end of the year, Pisces. And I think there's an awareness of that, which is also going to help determine who you want to have in and around your life and the way that you want to approach it. So this sort of streamlining, this kind of almost like clearing out of any energies that feel too dense, too heavy, too arduous. You know, this is the month where you're going to be making all of those decisions, okay? You might not be taking action against all of them just yet, but it is going to feel a really cathartic time for you. So your yogic oracle card is Dharana, and this has come up a couple of times this month. I really love the imagery here where we have the sun setting, okay? It's just like finding beauty in that stillness, you know, the beauty of the earth magic that surrounds you each and every day, but also this idea of just making peace with the release and letting go of something. And I think that is really important because we have all of the water energy shown here. It is something on a deeply emotional level for you, okay? Her face is looking forward, All right, so there's an awareness of the intensity perhaps of this emotion and what it meant, what it still means, but there's also this deep desire to want to challenge yourself to see what else is available to you, what else can be invited in and enjoyed. And I think it's time that you find the stillness and you give yourself that space to really figure out the answers to those questions. And I see you doing that very powerfully, with great intention this month, and with a great sense of being prepared to sacrifice, because you know that the gain is going to be worth it. All right. So this is a general reading, Pisces. If it's resonated, please do drop me a comment. Do revisit the reading through the month, because some of these messages and insights will start to reveal themselves at different times for people as they move through their own unique journey. And if you'd like to join me for the extended, we're going to speak for another 25 minutes or so. And you can find the link for that in the description box underneath. So this is a general reading. If you'd like to now focus just on a question that I may not have answered for you, I'm going to go ahead and pull us a couple of cards and we'll cover this off in more detail in the extended, all right? So just think about that for me just now. Okay. Let's just go ahead now and clarify this main spread for you. So we start out with this Ten of Wands energy, clarified with the Two of Coins. So for many of you, you've probably just been dealing with so much on your plate, you know, just having to keep everything going, just maybe try and keep the family together, multiple jobs perhaps, just multiple responsibilities that is reaching a point of culmination. Look, we've got two tens coming in here, so there is a shift coming in the energy for you this month with it. So the Hanging Man and the Five of Wands, I just get the sense of this like real fight taking place, perhaps between yourself, you know, between you and you, as you try to come to terms with something, to accept something. But you may well have some quarrels that are playing out through this month as well that you need to navigate. So here we have the Knight of Swords, possibly a Gemini, Aquarius or Libra energy. Perhaps even someone from the past that's trying to make their presence known, and certainly someone that may have caused some upset in the past. We've got that Three of Swords and Five of Pentacles energy coming in for you. But, you know, I see your strength emerging very strongly in this month, Pisces. So I know that the way that you choose to handle these situations is going to be one where you are demonstrating this new level of confidence in yourself, you know. Two of Cups with the Moon and Ten of Swords here. Three of Wands and the Six of Swords, you know, both of them kind of looking at this journey, really, you know, journey that you've been on, but a journey that you're still about to embark on. There may well be some travel coming up for some of you, however that is expressed. King of Swords here, that air sign showing up again. Lots of real honesty coming up this month, Pisces. And I think you're going to be the one that's just prepared to start the conversation. There you are, Queen of Cups. So, you know, that very healing energy that you're bringing to situations is allowing you to go to those places that perhaps you've been avoiding for a while. But there is movement, there's a way forward, you know. Could also be a Cancer energy that we've got here. Leo energy showing up with that Knight of Wands a little bit as well. Overseas connections, I think, in business are also being highlighted really strongly for some of you this month, okay? It's a great time to be able to reach out and connect and to network, but also to find a better, more efficient way of doing things in your work-life balance. I think that's going to be really helpful for you. Family matters coming up here a little bit. Ace of Cups with that Spirit Quartz, okay? An Empress, beautiful. Okay, Pisces, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you tuning into the channel. If you'd like to join me for the extended, I look forward to continuing this conversation. Otherwise, enjoy your beautiful full moon at the beginning of this month, and I'll connect with you again in October. Bye for now.